Welcome to Pleasure Doing Business with You, a podcast showcasing young Black entrepreneurs who have paved their own ways to success. I'm your host, Megan Sayles, business writer at AFRO News and Report for America Corps member. Today, we are talking to sister CEOs Evonne and Erika of Afrothreads, a Baltimore-based African print textile company that was founded in 2018.
Hello, Evonne and Erika. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, thank you for having us. Hello.
Of course. So first things first, can you both just tell me a little bit about yourselves?
Sure. So we are sisters. I'm Evonne. I'm the older sister. We were raised by Ghanaian parents in Worcester, Massachusetts. I went to college in Philadelphia, Temple, and then I moved to Baltimore 10 years ago to go to law school.
Yes, and I went to college at University of Massachusetts, Amherst. Then I came down here to Baltimore, worked in nonprofit for a year, and then I went to physical therapy school in Staten Island. And then I knew I wanted to come back down to Baltimore to work.
Gotcha. And how did you both garner an interest in African fabrics?
Well, African fabrics have been a part of our lives for all of our lives. Our parents and family members have worn it proudly for as long as I can remember. And we used to get clothes made and brought back with family members on their voyages to and from Ghana. So a lot of the times it wouldn't really fit, or it might not be meshing with our developing styles. But still, it was the thought that counted, and the designs, the colors, and the cultural significance that resonated with us.
Gotcha. And can you tell me a little bit about your trip to Ghana in 2018 and what you discovered about the African prints being sold there at that time?
Sure. So 2018, we had another great opportunity to go to Ghana during December, which is the best time to go. And this was actually a very busy trip. So we went with the intention of getting clothes made as we usually do. But we were really busy visiting family in different parts of the country that we ended up buying fabric and then bringing everything back here to the States and not even being able to make anything. But what really stuck out about that trip was that while we were at the market shopping for fabric, typically, you bargain. That's the way it works. And I remember I was trying to get a certain print for a lower price. And the woman was like, no, this was made in Ghana. This brand was made in Ghana. So that's why it's this expensive. And I was like, wait, I thought they all were made in Ghana. Mm-hmm. And that's when she schooled me that no, like a lot of these prints are made in China now. You can tell the difference here. She showed me how you can tell the difference. She showed me how you can tell what's an authentic made in Africa print. And since then, I was like, I want to make sure that my money goes to African manufacturers, African artisans. So it just really became clear at that point that we need to be more conscious when we're shopping, whether we're in Africa or outside of Africa. We need to make sure we know where these prints are being made, who's profiting from these prints. And that's really what led to Afrothreads.
Gotcha. And just curious, what were some of the tips that she gave you in trying to discern if it's authentic or not?
So paying attention to the brand name. So some of the manufactured prints, most of the manufactured prints will actually have the country of origin written on the selvage, which is the edge of the fabric. So if you're buying raw fabric, if you're a sewing enthusiast, you're buying raw fabric, you want to make sure you're paying attention to the selvage to see, the brand name. There's a number, there's a country of origin as well listed. And then when it comes to the handmade prints, you can tell batik, which is a particular type of handmade print. You can tell from how the colors and the dyes, the way the pattern is on the print, you can tell that it's been handmade. So those are some of the things to look out for. Also the way it feels. Those are the types of things that you want to look out for when you're buying these fabrics.
And so when you started Afrothreads, who were some of the artisans that, you know, you now source your fabric from? How did you go about that process of kind of connecting with them?
Thank God for Instagram. Honestly, Instagram really led me to discover a lot of younger artisans, I would say. You know, the older ones, not so much. The older ones, we had to go through a couple of different people, some relatives, some friends of the family on the ground were doing some visiting to the market for us. But some of the younger artisans who are more tech savvy, found them through Instagram, you know, slid in their DMs, let them know what we're doing. And they were down. And, you know, with technology and also with logistical advances, I was like, we shouldn't have to travel to Africa to buy these fabrics. If we can order from China, we should be able to order from Africa. So it took a lot of research and a lot of digging, but luckily we were able to find really, really great manufacturing partners, shipping partners to allow this business to really take off.
That's awesome. And so what are some of the products that you sell with Afrothreads, and how can listeners buy them?
So right now we sell the raw fabric by the yard. So if you sew, you know, we are the place to be for raw fabrics. We also make accessories and home decor. So a variety of really awesome accessories. I'll let Erika talk about some of her favorite pieces in a second, but we love accessories because it's something you can wear more often, as opposed to, like, you know, the clothing is dope too, but the accessories, you know, you can wear it all the time. So we really, really love making accessories. And then our home decor pieces are really versatile as well. They can be used in the home office, in the living room, and they're all on our website. You can see all the things that we've made, as well as our Instagram page.
Yeah, my favorite right now is definitely the bucket hats, you know, just coming off of that summer season, but I feel like it's something you can actually wear all year round, you know, just depending on the style, depending on the fit, even the color. I'm definitely wearing my Afrothreads bucket hats all year long. Also, I'm really feeling our latest pieces that we just dropped, because they can be worn as head wraps, scarves, pocket squares, and you can just accessorize them however you want. And that's the magic of what we do.
I totally agree with the bucket hats. I'm kind of obsessed with them. I wear them on every beach trip all the time.
Nice.
What do you both think makes your brand unique from other African textile companies?
So something that makes it unique is our direct lineage to these textiles. Our grandfather wove kente in Bonyere, and we're really privileged to carry that history, and we're super grateful that we get to share and educating and learning with others about the cultural significance of these artifacts.
Yes, and also just the fact that we are very transparent about where we source, making sure that we're sourcing from reputable African brands, making sure we're sourcing from artisans in different countries within the continent, and also sharing the history and the significance of these fabrics, how they're made. You can see videos of how they're actually made on our website. You can learn about the significance of the colors, the designs. We think it's really, really important that we are clear about where, you know, the origin of the materials that we use, and every single textile comes from the continent. We want to make sure our money goes back into the continent.
And when starting Afrothreads, and even over time, like, what has been one of your biggest obstacles running this business?
I would say, honestly, fighting the urge to want to do it all the time, because we both work full-time jobs. I'm a lawyer, she's a physical therapist, and we love this work. I mean, it means so much to us, our culture, you know, we're able to express ourselves, you know, use our hands, and it's really, really fun. People are always giving us ideas on different things to make. We're always experimenting, and it's finding that balance between, you know, growing this business, which we're taking our time, you know, it's definitely a marathon, it's not a race, but growing this business, balancing that with, you know, our full-time jobs, as well as our other interests. We have, you know, plenty of other interests. We have social lives. We like to travel as well. So it's definitely a balancing act that has been quite the challenge, but it's all good. We're grateful.
And it's definitely, I mean, no small feat, I feel like, for anybody to start their own business. And I'm sure, like you said, there's obstacles and like having that work-life balance. But who have been some of the people that have supported you along the way in this journey?
Our amazing family. Our parents and brothers are consistently asking us questions, throwing out ideas, challenging us to be better. And we've had so many uncles and aunties and cousins support us in so many ways and connecting us along this entire journey.
And also, I would say the Baltimore community has been amazing. I mean, you reached out to us. We're grateful. We were featured on the local news last year here in Baltimore. We're involved with Made in Baltimore. It's just, you know, being able to pop up in the city and meet other creators in the city has been amazing. We've gotten a lot of support from people right here in the city, and we're really, really fortunate for that.
And, you know, I have a younger brother personally, and I couldn't imagine running a business with him, although I love him. But what has it been like being in business together as sisters?
It's a great feeling. It feels like we've been teammates our whole lives. So this works out well. And I feel like it brings us even closer together as time passes, as well as we get to express ourselves in our each unique ways, and they come together, you know, as Afrothreads.
Yeah, and I also love the fact that we're building something that's within our family, like something that we're going to be able to pass on to our kids, and they'll be able to look back and say, oh, our moms did this, you know, auntie did that. Like, that really makes me happy that we're going to be able to leave something, you know, have heirlooms to pass down. And I love taking pictures of my sister. That's my favorite. I really like, she's like the face of the brand. I love taking pictures of her. So I've truly enjoyed being behind the camera, and just creating together has been so much fun.
It's definitely a legacy, and I'm sure it's fun to hype each other up during photo shoots. So for those listeners out there who are aspiring entrepreneurs, what's one thing you wish you knew before you started your own business?
I would definitely say knowing to keep on top of your books. I'm talking like every week. You know, you don't want to let anything get by you. You don't want to let anything, you know, you'll do that later. You'll, you know, record this later. I think it's really, really important to stay on top of all of your administrative tasks and have everything organized, a Google folder or some type of organizational method to keep track of everything that you do, people you talk to, potential, you know, partners in the future, people you've reached out to in the past that, you know, you can circle back to. I think just organization. I think that's the biggest thing. You want to make sure you're on top of that as much as possible.
Of course. And so for my last question I have for you both, I kind of wanted to just switch things up a little bit and stop talking shop. I personally have a slight obsession with music. So my question is, if you could choose anyone, what musical artist would you have perform at your next birthday party?
Okay.
Well, your birthday's next week, so who's coming?
So my birthday's on Tuesday, and if I could have anybody come out, I would invite Little Sims. She is an artist that's based in the UK. Her recent album, Sometimes I Be Introvert. I love it. I love the beats, the vibe. She's beautiful. She's fly. I would love to get her in some Afrothreads gear. Mm-hmm. So she would be the one that I would invite.
Gotcha.
For my party, I would have, of course, Beyonce.
Yeah.
But we know she's not coming, but it's okay. So someone else, it would be Sir. I want to be serenaded by Sir currently.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for talking with me today. For all you listeners out there, make sure you go check out Afrothreads, look at all their products, and, you know, buy local, especially.
Thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Megan.
Of course.